Just a little white lie. Adaeze sat on the worn-out couch in their small Lagos apartment, flipping through her mathematics textbook, but not really reading it. The numbers and equations on the page blurred together, mocking her. She sighed. Math is not my thing, Joe. From the kitchen, the rich aroma of ogbono soup filled the air as her mother's voice rang out. Ada, have you done your assignment? Adaze's heart skipped a bit. Her fingers clinched to the edge of the textbook. Should she tell the truth? That she had stared at the assignment for 30 minutes, hoping the answers would magically appear? That she had planned to copy from her friend Chisom in school? Instead, she forced a smile and called back, Yes, mommy, I finished it. Her mother poked her head out from the kitchen, beaming with smiles. That's my Ada. You see why I always say you're a smart girl? Ada's stomach twisted with guilt, but she pushed it aside. It was just a small lie, no big deal. The next morning, the sun blazed down on the school compound as students chattered and laughed. Adaeze spotted Chisom near their usual corner and hurried over. Chisom, please let me copy the math assignment before the teacher comes. Chisom adjusted her backpack and gave Adaeze a sheepish look. Ah, I didn't bring it all. My uncle helped me, so I left it at home. Adaeze's stomach dropped. What? Before she could think of a backup plan, her teacher, Mrs. Obina, marched into the class. All right, class, bring out your assignments. Panic set in. Adaeze stared at her empty hands. Her heartbeat pounded in her ears. When the teacher reached her desk, Adaeze hesitated, then mumbled, I forgot it at home. Mrs. Obina raised an eyebrow. Oh, you did? You did it? But you forgot it? Adaeze nodded quickly, forcing confidence into her voice. Yes, ma. The teacher folded her arms. Fine, let's call your mother and ask her to send a picture of it. Adaeze's entire world froze. Call her mother? She could already hear her mother's voice in her head. So you lied to me, eh? Her fingers trembled as she dialed the number. Each ring felt like a hammer striking her skull. Hello? Her mother's voice came through. Mrs. Obina took the phone. Good morning, ma. Adaeze said she finished her math homework but forgot it at home. Can you send us a picture? Then her mother's voice came through, slightly puzzled. Homework? Ah, but Adaeze told me she finished it last night. Mrs. Obina's eyes narrowed as she turned to Adaeze. Really? Then you should have no problem telling your mother exactly where you kept it. Adaeze's throat went dry. Her mind scrambled for an answer. Where would the homework be if she had truly done it? She faked a thoughtful expression, then stammered. I think it's on my table. Or maybe inside my school bag at home. Mrs. Obina's gaze didn't waver. You think? Adaeze's hands grew clammy as she felt her classmates' eyes burning into her. Her lie was falling apart, and there was nowhere to hide. Her mother's voice, now sharper, came through the speaker. Adaeze, where exactly is the book? Tears filled her eyes. She knew she was caught. There was no way out. Slowly, she lowered her head and whispered, Mommy, I didn't do the homework. Then her mother sighed. We'll talk when you get home. Adaeze handed the phone back to Mrs. Obinna, her face hot with shame. The teacher nodded knowingly. Lying may seem small, but it has big consequences. If you had told the truth, you would have gotten help. But now, you've lost my trust, and worse, your mother's. When school closed, Adaeze dreaded going home. As she entered their small apartment, her mother stood, waiting, arms crossed. Adaeze, come here. She walked over, head bowed. Look at me. Adaeze hesitated, then met her mother's disappointed gaze. Why did you lie? Tears flowed down her cheeks. I I didn't want you to be mad that I didn't understand the work. Her mother's expression softened. My dear, if you don't understand, you ask for help. Lies don't solve problems. They create more. Adaeze sniffed. I know, mommy. I'm sorry. Her mother sighed and pulled her into a gentle hug. Next time, don't be afraid to tell the truth. I will always help you. Adaeze nodded against her mother's shoulder, relief washing over her. She had learned a hard but important lesson. A little white lie could grow into something bigger until it becomes uncontrollable. That evening, instead of suckling, she took her math book to the kitchen where her mother was slicing vegetables. Mommy, can you help me with my assignment? She said shyly. Her mother's face lit up with a smile. Of course, come let's do it together. And for the first time, Adaeze realized that honesty didn't just keep her out of trouble, it also opened the door to understanding and support. If you've listened to the story to this point, you are the real MVP. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. Bye bye, see you next time.